Welcome to the Sold Too Early Sports Card Podcast, trying to get our own trading cards since 2024. That's Kai. I'm a super short print in Topps Big Leagues, and today we're joined by one of our friends, Liam. Lee Autographs 4. My God, my friend. Liam, Kai. How the hell you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Those little cards they put into whatever product it is, I think it's absolutely ridiculous how they pick who they put in those. But yeah, how are you doing, Liam?
I'm doing well. Excited to be on the podcast. Voice some opinions on the industry and get things going.
Yeah, so I think Kai gave us a good little intro to start with. I want to see if I can pull up the list quickly of who they actually selected. I actually posted it on Instagram, so let me take a quick peek. I'll put it on screen in post editing, whatever. The group was, and this is for 2024 Topps Big Leagues, which is not a product that a lot of people are going to buy anyway. They did this last year with Jeff Wilson, Ryan, Card Collector 2, Aaron from Slab Stocks, She Breaks, Mama Breaks. I'm not sure which one. Thank you. And then a fifth person who the guy who wears the
big hat.
The hats.
Yeah.
What's his Instagram? Do you know?
I think it's Slab Strong.
I think you're right. Anyway, the point is this year's group was Striker Breaks, Dr. Collectible, Shy City Pulls, Breaks with Jess, and the Jabs family. I've heard of one of those persons before yesterday. As I posted the Instagram story, a lot of people came into my DMs. No one negative, actually. Which like, oh, I've heard of this person. This is what they did. Or like, here's why they could be a hobby relevant person for this. This is a good thing. And I do stand on the side of like, this is just cool. I think it's a nice thing to have because it's a throw into a set that like no one
cares about.
No one's gonna buy it. Like we are going to probably have a conversation with, not because like we wouldn't want to, but like it's gonna be like little kids or new intros, new people into collecting cards, and like oh that's cool, and like that's where the conversation would probably end, and it's really not a big deal, but it's just interesting to see that, you know, as someone who has been on Instagram for 8 or 9 years, who is, I would call myself relatively up to date with things, give or take. I heard of one of these people before, I should say. And I was kind of surprised that like, I was like, who are you people? What is this? But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I knew Jab's family. That's the only one I knew. I've seen some of his YouTube content. I think last year's was pretty good with Ryan and Jeff as somewhat of a headliner. I don't know the other four, good or bad. I think it's an interesting addition to a cheap set, though, because it is somewhat of an introductory set into baseball cards. It's like $50 a box. And, if you're pulling cards about these influencers, you're going to look them up and try and learn more about the industry. So I think, for the younger generation, it could be a very interesting concept.
Yeah, I wish they would just put, I don't know how to say this without sounding offensive, but I wish they would just put people that like I've never heard of any of these people before. I don't know if I'm just out of the loop or what the issue is, but you would think like us three, like we've all been doing this for a while. I'm sure we watch some stuff here or there. Like you would think we would hear of the people they're putting in like actual products, but it's just kind of weird that we don't really know any of them. I don't know, but I could be totally off there.
For my understanding of that list, I believe 3 of them are group breakers in some way, shape, or form. Striker Breaks with Jess. I believe the Jabs family are all actually Shy City Pulls. 4 of those are breakers, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, either that's maybe the one component of their aspect, or like that's their main thing they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least it's an influencer parallel, and I think the only actual influencer is Dr. Collectibles, which is semi-interesting. I know Jab's family has, over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, but like they do more breaking than hobby content related, to my knowledge.
Okay, hear me out. Would I be crazy to say that they should change it to be more of like focusing on like people that have crazy collections or something rather than like influencer cards?
I think that could be interesting. I know Topps is trying to Fanatics is trying to bring back the Hobby Hall of Fame, I think.
Oh
That
yeah,
is a thing.
I
Yep.
saw
Yeah.
that.
So I feel like that will be more for collectors, and the set will probably stick to influencers.
But if they're group breakers, what are they influencing? Like that
Your
that
bank
terminology is what'd you say?
Your bank account.
Yeah, thank you. Of course. 'Cause when I turn to collecting advice and investing advice and influencer advice, I go right to Shy City Polls, which might be one of the names. I might have forgotten it. Like obviously, in order to qualify for this list, you'd have to be someone who either works directly with Tops or Fanatics or is willing to be a brand ambassador, which is perfectly fine. More power to you if you choose to go that route. But are four predominantly breaker channels influencers, or are they like not a gatekeeper in a way, but like are they allowing people to learn about sports cards, that introductory material? Are they really influencing the ebb and flow of the market, or are they just the group of influencers or content creators or whatever that would work with Tops in a way that allowed them to benefit both sides, which is a conversation I think is fair to say.
100%. Like with last year's class, you had a good mix. You had Mama Breaks, who was a breaker, but Ryan and Jeff and Slabstocks all influence the market. I don't know anything about Slabstrong, but those other three have a good grasp on the market from what I've seen.
Yep.
Yeah.
It also does seem like every year, I mean, 2 years in a row is not a trend, but it is what it is. They will always try to include, I believe, some kind of female aspect to it, which I think is a very good thing. I think that's super important for not diversity's sake, that's not the right word, but like inclusion. So I think that's a good trend they should continue to do. I don't know. I mean, it's fine. None of us will ever buy a box of Topps Big League, so our opinion on it is whatever. It's just kind of an interesting thing. Like, if I was to now randomly pull out 5 names of hobby influencers to get a trading card, I don't think I would do much better. I think I would name people that some don't like, but make quality content, or I would just like go with subscriber bases or those who have good relationships with Tops, and I probably would end up about the same list, give or take, or at least like on the same like questionable list of people that you would have.
I have an interesting hypothetical for you guys.
No, I would not go. I would not want to have a trading card.
No. Would you rather have the full 5-card set of whoever they are, or 2 tickets to a WNBA game?
Why are you being like this, Kai? You're just putting me in.
Not a team that Sabrina Ionescu or Caitlin Clark are on either.
Give me the 5-card set.
Liam.
Honestly, I'll probably go WNBA.
Oh,
I'd go with last year's set.
I would too.
Over WNBA.
Yeah.
With this year's set, I would probably take WNBA.
Kai, you're just looking to get me in trouble here.
I thought that was a good question. You guys had to think about it for like a few seconds.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. You've seen the old meme of like, would you rather your local WNBA team win a championship or get $5? It's the same thing, Kai.
Yeah, that was all I had.
But like that, the set from last year actually sold pretty well.
Didn't Ryan's do like $100 at one point?
Ryan sold, and so did Jeff's. They both actually sold pretty well.
Do you know if it's like anywhere near that anymore? Or no?
Real quick.
Not that
I want to check.
It's not a huge deal. I was just genuinely curious.
Topps Big League.
Just type in like Ryan. Or is this a Card Collector 2 or Ryan on it?
I think it's Ryan.
Wow. Oh my God, they're still going for like a good amount of money. Ryan's card, for instance, is like $75 consistently.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, I know they are actually like kind of short printed, right? Like they're hard to get.
But Ryan actually is an influencer, whether or not
100%.
Him and Jeff, like, are, in my opinion, the only two that have actually like really kind of like deserve what the card is. In my opinion, I don't want to make that offensive to anyone else that has a card, but in my opinion,
Jeff's card is worth about $20 to $30.
Which still, I mean, that's almost half the price of a box. So
that's true.
$50, so that's weird. What are these cards? I want to just see the cards that Jeff has on his desk in this picture. So for reference, the pictures on his desk are a bunch of Mike Trout cards. That's really funny, actually. Huh. All right. Well,
More you know.
threw it down. No, on the picture of Jeff Wilson's card, it was just like 5 Mike Trout cards on the bottom of like his desk. And I'm just curious what they were. So,
Who's like the end user for these cards besides the person?
children, like literally children.
I guess, right? Like they just keep it forever. I don't know.
I guess so. Let me think of a quick.
In like 5 years, no one's going to care about these cards.
I mean,
no matter who they are.
Living in Columbus, like being 20 minutes away from Ryan's shop, like people ask for his autograph all the time on like cases, on like their Zion cases and stuff. So this is kind of just like another avenue for them. Like they're all getting signed at some point.
Dude, Ryan's like social medias are crazy. I don't know if you guys ever looked at them like in depth, but his YouTube's over like 100K. I don't know what his Instagram's at, but he did such a good job like turning this into more than just like a card shop. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, he hit all the young demographics. He's my age, 26, 27, 28 roughly. He obviously is well versed in social media. He obviously has the content behind him. It's engaging and people want to learn about card shop, and he's young enough and with it enough that he also can travel when he wants to. Yeah. So like he hit all these right like steps you had to do, and it obviously was an important thing for him. And I respect Ryan a lot for doing that, because so many people either could have like done like something certain or others not so super well. He really has found a very good stride in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And you know what, that deserves praise. And you know, obviously it was rewarded by Topps with a trading card. The only people that I could think of that probably should get one soon, if not we'll have one in the future, like Mojo Sports should probably have a card. Like Jay, I would think would fit this pretty well. You probably should have gotten one over a couple of people on the list this year.
I think Pac-Man should.
Pac-Man?
Yeah.
I've never had a conversation with Pac-Man. I mean, if you're just going for like the subscriber base, sure, makes complete sense.
I feel like Jimmy needs one. Kentucky.
He seems to have kind of gone a little quieter though.
He's like under the radar now, it seems like.
Well, because him and Ryan, very similar in this aspect, that they both hired really good teams around them as well. So they don't have to be the full front face of it.
Yeah.
Ryan's team that he's built around him, I know a lot of them, great people, really smart, you know, great marketing. And same thing with Jimmy, all, you know, with the franchising of his stores. You know, I've met all the people that own his stores and they're doing a great job.
I think that in a way, so you guys have both seen Harry Potter, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kai, really?
Don't say that when you haven't seen Star Wars.
I haven't seen a lot of movies.
That's wild.
Yeah. All right. So I'll explain this then to Liam and not to Kai, because fuck you, Kai. In the first movie, or the first book, I guess I should say, you know, the Philosopher's Stone, which is like the stone that grants immortality and like all these great benefits, it's hidden in a mirror. And the way people can access this stone is by seeing it, but like not choosing to want to wield it for like the power that it has. And that's how Harry Potter eventually ends up owning it, because like he doesn't want to live forever or use it for anything nefarious. I wonder in a way if the people who quote unquote deserve a trading card should be like those who don't want to be famous, but have like built themselves up very authentically to the point where they
cards.
Kai, I have no interest whatsoever in being famous or an influencer or a content creator. This is about where I'm
podcast then.
We have a podcast that does relatively well for our states, for our level of effort, that is real. Like this is a real conversation.
Yeah.
No, I have no interest in that type of stuff. But I think that in a way that is authentic should kind of guide who ends up getting a trading card or not. But also, once again, it's just an interesting dynamic. No, Kai, I would turn down the opportunity to had Topps ever approach me, which they never will. I'm not an influencer.
Fair. I'm surprised that they didn't do something like this with Ginter, and you know, putting it in big league instead of Ginter, because I feel like Ginter is where they put, you know, a lot of the celebrities and, you know, one-off, you know, type of cards.
It
Well,
had
those
to be
people,
just. It just had to be because it's such like a garbage product. They like wanted to try to boost it. Well, I guess it's also for kids, right? Is that what you're gonna say, Dave? It's like a kids product and kids
yes.
watch them.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
No child, no 7-year-old is watching the Soul Early podcast, Kai.
Sorry, I shouldn't have called it garbage. I'll change it to a kids.
No, you're not. You're not invited. You're not allowed. What else is happening in the sports card world? We have Dallas next week. Kai and Liam are not attending, unfortunately. Kai, you gotta hit the show circuit at some point, dude. You're missing out. 2024 has been pretty crazy in terms of like show attendance and what's out there. And if you can make it work in your schedule, dude, like I would really recommend like going because it's really a great time right now.
Well, I would go just to buy, which I guess I could do.
Mhm.
Yeah, it wouldn't actually be that hard to do. Never mind. My whole argument just doesn't make.
Yeah, but that also would mean Kai has to like be around cards, and he doesn't like to do that. We know that.
I like cards. I mean, I just don't have a lot of like inventory. Like I buy it, I do whatever with it, and I sell it. Like,
I mean, that's the trick to success, though, is like,
like I would never set up at a show. I would just go to walk, which
Mhm.
isn't as fun as setting up, obviously.
Yeah.
Or as
Setting
worth
up
it,
is-
usually.
and I prefer setting up at this point because like it gives you all the power in negotiating. It allows you to have it. And frankly, I have a really good spot in Dallas. I'm on the front wall. We'll have one more episode before Dallas anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. But like, my spot is great. I have Mikey of Mikey's Cards with me next week, which will be exciting. That's his first show since he had a daughter, I believe. Actually, he's going to Nashville this week. So the point is, I haven't seen Mikey in a while. I'm excited to hang out with him, bullshit with him. It'll be a good time. I've already prepped mostly for that show. What was funny is I bought 4 LeBron James Topps Chrome cards that were really expensive, and they lasted 45 minutes in my possession.
Yeah, I didn't even get to swipe up on the story.
They were gone.
Yeah.
It's sports cards are weird, dude. Like, so let me just walk through that negotiation process for your guys' sake, for content's sake, because it is so funny, and I don't know how upfront people will be about this stuff on larger deals, quote unquote. I mean, to me, this is a large deal. To 99.98% of people, this is a large deal. To 0.02, it's like, oh yeah, whatever. That's a Tuesday. So a couple days ago, got a DM from a friend, someone who had made significant deals with in the past, saying, "Hey, listen, offering this out to a couple people. Want to see if you're interested. Best offer on this, we'll own it." And it's 4 pictures of LeBron James, 2 9.5 Topps Chrome refractors, 1 BGS 9 Topps Chrome refractor, and a pristine 10. Comp it out, it's about $33,000, $34,000 and stuff, give or take, roughly. Okay, cool. Like, give me 5 minutes. Like, I'm out, like, doing something for my fiance. Like, I'll be right back with an offer. Like, hey, copped it out. This is what I think it's worth. What do you want to do on it? Like, how do we get through this negotiation as painless as possible? Because this guy's a very straight shooter. He ends up calling me like, "Hey, man, listen, I have a $27,000 offer. I want 28." Like, okay, done. Like, it's a deal. Was like, shit, this is gonna be a lot of money. Like, what am I gonna do here? Obviously I had that free because I would not have negotiated a deal otherwise, but it's like, hey, that's a lot of money. In terms of quantity of cash spent in a deal, it's top 5 to top 10 most money I've ever spent upfront for a deal. All right, no problem. Like, I'll send the wire on a Monday. Like, go enjoy your weekend. Like, talk to you soon. 45 minutes later, after 17 DMs from friends, like, hey, what's the price for the card? Or, hey, I want this. Like, I want a trade offer. You get a call from a friend. I don't know if they want to be announced who it was. I don't think it matters. They've been on this podcast before. I'll say that. Hey, what do you want for the LeBrons? Told $29K cash. He said deal.
Simple as that. That's how it should be.
Yeah, it's almost like when you're willing to be reasonable with your friends and like willing to be fair on negotiation. Like, I could have probably squeezed this person for another $500, maybe $1,000 that I really wanted to, but now those LeBron James cards will be in tomorrow. Actually, today at the time of this episode launching, he already wired me the money. I'm getting the rest in Dallas because he's attending. Does it really matter? I'll net $800, $850 after shipping costs and like insurance and all that good stuff for a conversation with my friends. That I really have to squeeze them for more? No, you know, you keep it rolling, and like that authenticity and that ability to turn over inventory in such a way. Yeah, the percentage points might seem small. It's like 5%, if even, give or take. But you do that so many times. You have those good relationships with those people. It doesn't matter. Like it's just so simple. This is not a hard thing to do. You just have to be able to either put yourself out there or build that reputation where people know that you're good to deal with. You just make it work. It's really not a science.
It also frees back up the capital for you to spend again.
That's what I wanted too. Like I already have. How many deals do I have prearranged in Dallas? I have one deal. I bought a Fleer MJ PSA 2 yesterday from a friend. Woods hit me up about it. Bought it. He's giving me cash in Dallas. I just shipped the car to him. Was not the intention, but it just like that's on a much smaller scale. But it, like just funny how that shit happens. You just. I've been around it long enough at this point, 8-9 years on Instagram. Where like. You just figure out the name of the game and you just make it work.
Yeah.
And Kai, your ability to turn over inventory in the way that you should and want to, it's better than me, in my opinion. I think you can turn over inventory much better than I can when you apply yourself.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing a lot more cards than I did in the previous 2 or 3 months. Just not a lot of like shows and stuff. I mean, I just prefer to buy online a lot of the time. It's just easier. Shows, for me, the stuff I want gets bought out before I even make it into the door half the time. So to me, when I could buy on eBay or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, like it just makes more sense. I don't have to travel. I don't have to pay to go to wherever. I do like to go. I honestly enjoy going just to hang out with you guys literally more than the show for 2 or 3 days, which... I don't know if you want to call it a vacation at that point or what, but you know,
work vacation.
Yeah, Liam, what are you doing these days in cards, Liam? I haven't really like kept up with your card stuff.
Yeah, I honestly haven't been super public with what I've been doing. You know, being in a second semester senior in college, kind of just trying to take it all in for the rest of the semester. You know, meet a bunch more people, keep the network going, and stuff like that. I've been doing a lot of business on eBay recently. You know, the fees suck, but I'm getting over comp on eBay, so it all evens out anyway. But, you know, me and my boys back home, you know, Christian, Chad, Josh, Austin, all the boys, you know, we've somewhat come up with a plan that we honestly all follow at this point. Just playing it how the seasons go, you know, buying baseball when football's in season, buying basketball when football's in season, and really just rotating. Now, granted, I have my constant flow of inventory with the vintage and, you know, the mid to high end stuff, but honestly, I've just been, you know, quick flipping whatever's hot at the time.
Yep. This is such an easy cycle to be aware of. I really love the fact that you said that because this is not rocket science. This is such an easy cycle to predict. We're in March. Baseball season's approaching. Guess what I want to do right now? I want to sell out as much baseball, at least of like the Bowman Chrome stuff or high volatility stuff as possible. If I have veteran stuff in my showcase post Dallas or post my next show, so be it. It's veteran stuff. It's going to be relatively the same, give or take. If I can get good deals on football, awesome. Would love to. Basketball, it depends on what it is. Goats, high-end stuff, relatively can always be pretty liquid. Always happy to do it. You know what I don't want to buy, though, right now? Victor Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren. The guys who are really too hot, and this conversation can keep happening like every year or two. Oh, I don't want to buy Paolo right now. I don't want to buy Zion. I don't want to buy John Morant because like they are the guy, the chosen one, the sexy pick who could be anything.
Okay, time out. Weirdly enough, I don't really see Victor's stuff going down when the season ends.
Really?
He's like everyone's like on him.
Victor is phenomenal. Victor is different. But the price will still go down in a few years, regardless of what happens with him, because there'll always be someone else new who, like, just for whatever reason, the hype of their new release or
generational player.
Yeah.
Well, I think Slapsocks posted this, so I want to make sure that I say it correctly first. But I believe, oh man, I don't know who. Maybe it wasn't Slapsocks. I think it was. Paolo was being outsold by someone.
Yeah, it was Gigi Jackson.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Thank you. So Paolo is in his second year, third year.
Second.
So like already you're seeing guys who Gigi Jackson's great. Gigi Jackson has a lot of potential, but he's 19 years old, give or take. Paolo is 21, in his second year was the number 1 overall pick, and he's being outsold by a mid-round first round pick of a guy who has a lot of potential. But like, so is Paolo. Paolo was an all-star this year. I didn't realize that. Rookie of the year, all-star, like really trending up in the direction you want to, being outsold by some guy. Just just a guy.
That's why I stay away from basketball rookies for the most part. One, because I don't know who many of them are. Basketball is, my least watched sport of the 3 major sports. And I'm not going to buy a Gigi Jackson card. I don't even know who he is. But I'll buy a Paolo every once in a while. Obviously, I buy GOATs. I'll buy LeBron. Kevin Durant was one of my best investments of all time. Guys like that. But I really don't start buying cards of a player for a potential long-term until after the 3rd year, most likely.
Correct. And also I want to clarify something. Gigi Jackson was the 45th pick in the draft. So he was a mid-round pick in the second round, not the first round. And in 29 games, he's averaging 11 points.
It's really good. But
not denying that, but he should not be outselling the number 1 pick from last year's class in Paolo.
As a casual NBA fan, I've never heard of him until like a week ago. But I knew Paolo in college. I knew Paolo last year. And a second round pick is outselling, already of a face of a franchise.
On Bowman Chrome Autos, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it seems like this spring training, some of these prospects cards have gotten way hotter than like before. I don't know if I'm just going crazy, but some of these sales of like dudes who aren't even like playing that good, they're just playing in spring training. I've never seen them get this high compared to a month or two before in my life. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but
yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
For it.
No, you go.
Fucking twins over here. So like Spencer Jones, for instance, Spencer Jones hit like a mammoth home run for the Yankees. And his price is spiked. It was like a 470-foot bomb. He's not going to make the team out of spring training. What are you doing?
Good as shit, though.
Spencer Jones is really good. Spencer Jones is probably the future first baseman for the Yankees. But that's when you buy him. Kai, I would buy Spencer Jones. Like, if we're talking about like this timing now, I would buy Spencer Jones like May through like August. When like
May, June, he'll be like 60% of what he is right now, probably.
Yes. Like, if you really believe in this player, for instance, like I think Spencer Jones can be the future first baseman for the Yankees. He'll probably start the year in AA, maybe AAA. I'm not sure how it'll really work out right now for him. But like you buy a little bit later when no one's really paying attention. You like win at auction, or you buy something on Facebook or like something where no one's really seeing it super well, or like you pay at comps for it at that time, but it's gonna be down from spring training, and you just wait. Just wait. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, maybe he gets a cup of coffee with the team in September. Maybe sell then. If he doesn't, no problem. Come back this time next year. Oh, wait, hang on. Anthony Rizzo's gone. They didn't sign Murakami, let's say. Oh, Spencer Jones, first baseman for the Yankees. All right, well, time to sell.
Well, this last year was the first year I really went like kind of crazy in baseball prospects. And to me, November, December seems like the time to buy. People were offloading their stuff from the season at auction, crazy at insane rates.
Yeah,
and we bought a ton of it, but we just sold it too early.
Yeah.
No, you made money, so you didn't sell it too early.
But if you have the ability to hold those November, December buys, grade them, and hold them till now and these dudes do this. Like it's crazy.
Yes,
Yeah,
but in retrospect, you didn't realize, neither did I, like these prices were going to happen the way they were because it doesn't make logical sense.
Yes.
So I think you still made the right move because you sold 2 steps too early, then 2 steps too late when like no one's paying attention anymore.
Yeah.
Like and I'll put this on the podcast. I'm happy to say it. I think the biggest crashing price this year in Bowman Chrome will be Ellie and Jackson Holiday, because people are going to offload them immediately when they debut, or in Jackson's case, and Ellie's just like, Ellie's kind of bad.
He crashed hard at the end of the season.
This kind of hits on the point that we were talking about earlier. Ellie hit a 470-foot homer the other day too, and his prices didn't change. And Spencer Jones hits one, and his price is 3x.
Yeah.
And then with Ellie, like you could get a Bowman Chrome Blue Auto PSA 1010 for like $2,700, and they're like, that was back in November, and they're already back up to $4,000.
I just don't think Ellie's going to be good this year. The issue with him, he is way too aggressive at the plate, and he strikes out a ton. So already in spring training, for instance, I pulled up his stats: 16 at bats, 7 strikeouts, almost 50%. You can be as electric as you want on the field, and there's no doubting he is one of the most electric players in baseball. Has no plate discipline, will strike out a ton. Big issue. And last year he started off so hot when he came up. He ended up batting .235 last year with a 300 on base percentage. That's not good. His OPS plus was below league average. At 21, he was a below average hitter, and these are his prices right now. Get the fuck out of here.
We got Dave using the first 16 at bats in spring training as a barometer. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not. Yeah. But if we're gonna say, oh, he hit this 470-foot home run, he's a beast. He also he missed a bunch. That's really concerning. His issues have not been fixed yet.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting in the NL Central with him and O'Neal Cruz being such similar builds and similar players. That's
like a fifth of the price.
Could be really good for one of the worst divisions in baseball.
Yeah.
I'm curious what O'Neal Cruz's cards are going for, because I think
he's
I made that exactly.
older though, right? He's like 24, 25.
He was in the 2016 Bowman class.
Yeah, he's like 24.
A base O'Neal Cruz raw is about 150 to 160. What's an LA going for?
Right now? Wow, dude! Imagine if you bought those when he got hurt. Those were down bad.
Like
I thought about buying him.
We just sold an LA Refractor 9.5 for over $1,000.
Well, the LA's crashed so bad in like July, August-y range. I think maybe August probably went down like half of what they were.
I don't even see raw LEs on eBay for sale, like
because they're all graded.
Yeah.
The point is, how old is O'Neal Cruz? O'Neal Cruz is 25. Yeah, okay.
Is he a rookie? This will be his real rookie season, right? I think.
No, he was 2020. I think he was 22.
He qualified in 2022 because he had 87 games. But in 3 years, he's played 98 games. Because 2021 came up. I think he got hurt. 2022 got hurt as well. 2023 broke his leg, I believe. But O'Neal Cruz is basically the same kind of hitter. Explosive athlete, really tall and lanky, because O'Neal is 6'7" as well. And I think Ellie is like 6'5". He's like massive. Ellie is 6'5", okay. Incredible speed, amazing arm, whatever. Both strike out a ton. Huge issue. I do not like that type of hitter. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm not confident in the price being realized for like what production they put out there. So.
Yeah. I don't see either of those organizations winning the NL Central just yet. I think the Reds still need a little bit of pitching help. They're starting to build the roster, but I think the Cubs probably pull away with that division this year. With Pete Crow Armstrong being the rookie there.
I'm surprised you didn't go with the bias pick.
Oh, I hate the Cubs. They beat my Guardians in 2016, but I think re-signing Bellinger is really gonna bolster that lineup.
I'm trying to think. I mean, Brewers are gonna be kind of middle of the pack. I could see. Yeah, Cubs probably gonna win the division.
St. Louis will be close, but again with the pitching.
Sorry, I was answering a text. Yeah, I mean, St. Louis really fucking crashed last year, so you have to imagine they will bounce back to form. But that team is also super old, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Where does Russell Wilson go?
Falcons.
I was also gonna say Falcons. I don't know if you like that as a.
I will not return to the podcast if that happens.
I
Would you
mean,
rather Justin Fields?
he will be better than Desmond Ritter in that offense.
I'd rather not have any of them and draft someone. But
So I mean, who would the Falcons? What's your pick, like 7 or something?
so let me just break it down for you. So
9.
I would love to give Kirk Cousins a 2-year deal and be able to avoid the second year somehow. And then either also still trade into the top 3-4 and draft one of them, or take like Penix in the second round-ish, late first round, something like that kind of a plan, and let the rookie sit for a year. But there's no way they actually do something that makes sense, so I'm just gonna have to see what happens.
Yeah, Penix is an interesting prospect just because he's 24 already?
Yeah, he's old,
He's
has bionic knees, but he's good.
Shoulder injury. Yep. Lefty as well, which you have to account for.
He's okay. I tweeted this and I didn't get any interactions, but to me, he is the Peyton Manning of Tua Tagovailoas.
What does that mean?
What?
He is the Peyton Manning of the Tua Tagovailoas.
But what? God,
We need a breakdown.
yeah, what do you mean by that?
So, of all the quarterbacks that are like Tua, he is the Peyton Manning version.
Then who's Tua?
Just like a very average lefty pocket passer. He's the Peyton Manning version.
I don't know how much I agree with that.
I disagree entirely. I just think you're wrong.
He's so good.
Sure, but like, he's still going to be the 5th quarterback taken, probably. Almost certainly 5th. And will almost certainly not be a starter year 1, at least if things go right for whoever drafts him.
Yeah.
Don't forget he has bionic knees.
And a shoulder thing, too.
And a rib injury.
Yeah, this guy's hurt as hell.
Sounds like he's
So good, though. But yeah, that's what I would love to happen.
You're going to end up with like... You're going to end up with a veteran quarterback, like a
Bo
Jameis
Nix,
somehow.
take
You might end up with Bo Nix.
Did you say Jameis?
I said Jameis.
I wouldn't like hate that, but I wouldn't love it.
Would you prefer Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson?
Out of pure entertainment, probably Jameis.
Yeah, boy.
That's
But
what
the baseline amount of wins, probably Russell Wilson.
You would lose every single game with Jameis Winston as your quarterback, but it'd be like 42-38. It'd be the most entertaining.
No, we'd be better than we were this year. We won 7 games or whatever.
No, you'd be better, but Jameis would throw like 4 pick sixes to end games because the Falcons are cursed. Although Jameis is the most entertaining QB to watch because 5 plays a game, you're like, this guy was well deserving of a first round pick. He was number 1. He's amazing. He's so great. And then there's 4 plays a game also where it's like, how are you on the field?
Yeah.
How did you get here?
How'd you escape your caretaker?
Jameis has some very special throws.
That's the good thing about being a Browns fan right now. I don't have to worry about a first round pick for like the next 3
Okay,
years.
yeah. How do you feel about that?
So, yeah, I wish we kept Baker. I'm a Baker guy. Especially giving up all the capital that we had to give up to get him. I do think that Watson will take a step forward this year and will hopefully play the entire year. To me, that's taking a step forward, is him playing the entire year.
You might not want him to play the whole year.
No, I think I do.
It's a lot of massages he's going to need.
He was really bad, like, since he came back from being a Predator.
Yeah, Joe Flacco was slinging it.
Don't get me wrong.
That's true.
As a person, I'm not a fan of what he did off the field.
I'm happy you're not a fan of him.
Really?
As a Browns fan, I really hope he succeeds on Sundays.
Isn't it crazy, though, how hard Deshaun Watson fell off? Like, he was the man.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, he was MVP talks. He was top 3 MVP. You know,
He was beating Mahomes like 21-0 in a playoff game at one point,
Yeah.
I think.
I remember that.
and that was with the semi-depleted Texans offense.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm so
Whose
glad we didn't
market do you-
trade for him.
Whose market do you think is more toxic from the sports card world? Deshaun Watson or Trey Young?
What do you mean?
Watson doesn't get shilled.
That's
Watson
thing I
actually
do.
still kind of sells just 'cause he's a quarterback.
Yeah. I feel like people are also willing to take losses on Watson because they're not in as strong as they are on Trey.
That's the point I was trying to get to.
Yeah, Trey Young NTs went from like 25K to like 2.
God, are they really that cheap?
I thought about buying one a couple weeks ago, but I
At 2K, like I would
I
consider.
don't
it
think
too,
we're
but
gonna. I have this weird feeling we're gonna trade him, so I don't want to go too crazy.
I've been offered a Trey Young game worn jersey with a 75th anniversary on it. I might go after that.
What kind of value does that kind of?
He's
like-
got it at 3. He's got it at 3K. I mean, we'll have to see what happens.
I mean, do the 75th really like
Yeah.
make that big of a difference though?
On cards, they do.
Cards 100%.
Cards, yes, but there's 81 plus any replacement jerseys from that season.
Sure, but half of them would be home or away, and then
Alternates.
how many got
Still a
reused multiple
jersey
times?
though.
The answer is it depends.
Now I could see that argument saying it's definitely worth more for like a very old veteran player, but for like Trey Young's case, he only has 4 seasons of jerseys, you know.
Yeah, but also the 75th will always have a little more value regardless. The point is, it depends. I will need to see more of what this guy has available, but I was offered one in a deal. And maybe at the time of this episode launching, I'll have a deal in place for something with this guy, but we'll see.
I love gamers. I love memorabilia. But if I'm dealing for a piece of memorabilia, ideally I'd like cards with it, personally, because it's so much easier to sell cards than it is mem.
I moved Chad a DeJounte Murray.
Yeah,
That was such a weird thing for Chad to get though. He doesn't like do that, does he?
he does do some mem for like collection purposes.
It was a cool item. Like that deal worked out for both sides. I got value out of my item. I bought it during the Super Bowl because it just ran at auction. I thought this was stupid. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna buy it.
Mm.
You know, happens.
Most of my gamers are PC. It's either I have a couple Brandon Phillips gamers and a couple Guardians jerseys. Like I have a Cliff Lee gamer from 02, his rookie season, and it's the vest.
Oh, that's sick.
I have one of those, and I have one of the Cleveland Turn Back the Clock Cleveland Buckeye jerseys for Jan Gomes.
That's cool.
So like if I'm buying mem, I want it to be a little bit sentimental.
That's fair.
Jan Gomes is such a jersey that you need, Dave.
I mean, if it's a cool jersey, sure. I mean, what do I have in my? I have Robert Woods. I have a couple of Robert Woods jerseys. Kenny Britt, a couple. Duke Johnson, which I'm shocked your friend didn't want, but I still have that just chilling.
He knows you have it.
Yeah. Jared Cook, bunch of Rutgers stuff. Ray Rice, Logan Ryan, Leonte Carew, Mohamed Sanu.
Why do you have a Leonte Carew?
Because they're shockingly hard to get. He only played in the league for like 2 years.
Mm.
He also went to Rutgers, so.
Oh, I didn't know he was Rutgers.
I thought he was
No. He might have committed to Alabama and then went to Rutgers, but like Carew was a
You're thinking of oh god, what's his name?
Bo Scarborough or something.
Maybe.
that's
I was thinking of Alex Collins, but he went to South Carolina, right?
I think so. Seahawks
It
legend.
was 3 years for reference. So yeah, listen, just one of those guys. I need a Brian Leonard jersey, like no tomorrow. I need a gamer. You gotta find one of those. It'll be
All right,
me and
Liam.
Wald.
No, I want to ask Liam what his favorite deal he's made in the last 3 months has been. Or you can just say your favorite single item you've transacted.
Yeah, I would say my favorite one coming in, like, it was at PSA, but it's back now, is 56 Aaron PSA 8.
Nice.
Either that or I picked up the Corbin Carroll Bum's Best Superfractor True.
Did you use Kurt's card care kit on the Aaron?
I don't do any prepping other than microfiber.
Good job, guy.
So no scissors.
No scissors, no trimming, no, what was it, Evan Mathis?
What does
Yeah,
an 8 go for compared to like a 5 or a 6?
The last
The
8 did
Oh.
3,900 and 4,200. I was checking eBay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but like if you go up to a 9, it's probably like 20K.
That's why I figured there's always a huge jump from like
Yeah.
4 or 5 to like 8 to like 9. And yeah.
But
So
like,
if you want to learn how to get good grades like Liam, make sure you like this video and subscribe below. So that way Liam can teach you how to alter
Where'd you get it
cards.
from? Like a random dealer?
I got that. I'd have to look back in my books, but I think I traded for it.
He pays his taxes, guys.
I do. I think I traded. Yeah, I traded for it in Dallas in November. I gave up a 56 Mantle and a 6.5 and like 5K cash for that and a bunch of other stuff.
Do you not get worried? Was it raw?
No, it was great. It was an old holder. I reholdered it.
Oh, I was confused. I was like, were you not concerned at all that you're just trading for this raw?
No, yeah, it was an old holder. Got it back like
That's sick.
a couple weeks ago. And like if it was still 2020, I'd give it to NBA and get a diamond on it.
Was it you just got a new holder or did you bump the grade?
No, it was already an 8, but it was in like the first generation of holder, so it didn't have the security tag or anything.
But am I crazy or don't the older ones do better?
No, new holders.
The new holders do
That's
better
the
on vintage?
I think it depends who you ask, but like as the grading standards have changed over time, they've gotten a lot tougher on vintage. So, like I just sold a PSA 2 Clemente 55 rookie that definitely should have been a 1 or a 1.5. That was in an old holder. So,
do you ever dabble with cracking SGC and PSA and like sending them either which way?
Not for vintage. For raw, I will crack. I crack basically everything except for Beckett because cracking Beckett always worries me because they have a little sleeve over the top, and I always get scared that I'm going to cut the card. So I just leave it in whatever grade it's in. But for PSA and SGC, we've cracked before.
Do you guys have any strong opinions on the PSA acquiring SGC or collectibles who owns PSA acquiring SGC or no?
Yeah,
I mean, you go. You got it.
I don't have any like super strong opinions. I think he's the CEO of SGC. I think his name's Pete. Put out a pretty good video, kind of just like walking through what it took to acquire the company, and from my point of view, it sounded and looked like they're going to keep working as SGC just as a company under collectors, not as a company under PSA.
That's kind of what I got out of it too. I don't really think they're going to change anything. I'm guessing they're going to integrate a thing where you can like send your cards from PSA to auction at Golden for SGC. I'm guessing they're going to do something like that. I don't know if they do any other sort of integrations with collectors or not, but I'm assuming they would do that with SGC too. But I don't think the grading or anything like pricing or quality customer, like I don't think any of that will change from what I've seen at least. SGC for me, outside of these last like 2 weeks, has been by far the best grading service for like knowing what you're going to get and getting it.
Yeah, SGC was really nice at the National because they had like a $30 level that they said by the end of the show, but it was really like 5 hours. And to do that at PSA, it'd be like $250. So like being able to take advantage of a source like that just to get your cards in a holder was really nice in person. I've sent a couple cards with SGC outside of that, but I usually stick, if I'm doing SGC, it's mostly going to be vintage.
Yeah, I mean, SGC seems to have like very nice customer support. Was really on top of things when I submitted with them. I didn't use them a ton. They'll still be around, at least I believe so, for a couple of years. I imagine they will eventually be incorporated into PSA in some way, shape, or form, or like the best talent will be taken to PSA or whatever else. It'll be sad, but like they did their job and they got bought, and that's good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it works out. One other thing to touch on quickly before we go into the last segment, which is talking about conspiracies in sports cards. Kai and I were asked to talk about the situation with Card Hobby, the international. There you go, Kai. Now you can't yell at me. International eBay platform people were using. There were a couple of issues over the last couple of weeks. It seemed like with a lot of U.S. based buyers and sellers either receiving their money or their cards or some combination of the pair. We were invited into a group chat to talk about it. Thankfully, it seems like the issues are being resolved internally. There are a couple of issues regarding their processing center with the cards and like weighing the packages because that was one component of the process. But thankfully, it seems like people are getting their cards, or at least in the process of acquiring whatever assets they need to, whether they were buying the items, selling the items, which is really good. If we need to talk about it more in depth next week, we will. But from what I saw in this group chat, it is being handled. But there were significant issues where I thought today would have been a podcast about that, and thankfully it did not have to go that way. But we were asked to talk about this, which is crazy.
I pulled up the website. I've never used it before. Am I crazy, or is it all like penny cards?
I've never opened it.
I could be totally have like opened the wrong thing, but these people are buying like tens of thousands of dollars of cards in this group chat, and all I saw was like penny cards. I don't know if I'm missing something.
I mean, it's not in English, so.
But like they're all like base Donruss cards, like not worth anything.
Hi, if I could read this website, I would tell you where to search.
No, like the home. Did I open the wrong thing?
No, I'm on Card Hobby's website as well. I don't know. I can't read it.
That's just racist. Hold on.
How the fuck is that racist?
How dare you not be able to read Japanese?
You can interpret. Hold
It's
on.
not
You don't have to
Japanese
translate
either.
this page.
I thought it was
feature?
Japanese.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Chinese.
You don't have to translate this page.
No.
I did it. Here we go. All the cards on this page are like 12 cents.
Guy's racist. That's what I'm getting out of this.
No, I'm trying to figure I'm trying to figure out where the cards are so I can buy them.
I don't think you want. Maybe that's the issue, guys. We don't want to buy them. They're having issues.
Well, hold on. You click the homepage, you click basketball, and base Chris Paul Prism card, base Carmelo Anthony hoops. Like where are the cards they're buying? Oh, here we go. Here's a Jokic flawless diamond. Then everything else is base cards.
Maybe they need some speedy card lister in their life.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got plenty of cards ready for you, David.
Dude, I had my first meeting with my team about like the process. It needs a lot of work still, so I'm happy I said spring and didn't give a definitive timing on it. We got some beta testing coming soon. First with me, and then people who I have a closed beta with, which will be exciting. I thought I would break the website first, but it was not ready to be broken, which is fine. These things take a lot longer than I thought, but we'll see. We'll have a formal announcement and some exciting things coming of that when we're ready to launch.
I got about 600 cards ready to go.
Liam, my desk is filled with cards and ready to sell. I'm going to use, if my service sucks dick, perfectly fine. I'm still going to use it because I built it for me, and anyone else who uses it is a benefit. It's a pro that I did not expect. But I'm ready.
I have a random thought kind of going back to the grading stuff. I don't know if either of you guys will be able to touch on this, but
go for it.
Do you guys ever wonder why SGC has such loose guidelines on like modern stuff? Like you can send a card with a ding and it'll get a 10, but then vintage is actually graded like correctly typically. Like I don't get that thinking about it.
Probably just the quality of graders.
Yeah. I would assume that they have, like I know PSA, like they have a specific vintage group, like that it doesn't go through the same processing that modern does. And if it did, I have a vintage sub out that I sent out the same as a modern sub, and it's still in grading. So I think people also utilize SGC more for cheaper stuff, so they were more lenient.
Yeah.
Great. So let's use the last 10 minutes, give or take, for a fun segment that I saw on the Sports Card Nonsense Facebook page.
Real quick.
I
wanted to propose a question to y'all just because this was something that I wanted to hit on a little bit that I know I had talked to you about. Did either of you do cards while you were in college?
Yes.
I did. Yeah.
So what was that like for you? Because I've gotten a lot of questions, obviously, about being able to do cards in school and keeping up with everything, but also still having a social life. It took me 3.5 years to figure out my balance. I wanted to maybe get your guys' opinion on it as well.
Kai, you can go first because yours is more recent than mine.
I mean, for 3 out of the 4 years, I really didn't do it as much as I did previously. Like during the summer, I'd go to the national and whatnot, but really only the last year, 6 months to a year of my senior year, I did cards a ton. But before that, yeah, I didn't really do that much, honestly. Like probably a third, half, a quarter of what I was doing before that. Now I say that in terms of like volume, like how many cards I was dealing with or whatnot, but I was definitely dealing with like higher end stuff, which in hindsight was very sketchy to get shipped to my college apartment.
Yeah.
Like a $25,000 like MJ LeBron like triple auto and stuff like that. But I definitely focused on like more smaller quantities of cards so that I didn't have to spend so much time and whatnot, and less volume. I would grade and stuff, but I don't know, Dave, if you have a different thought, but I just less time, more money, less transactions. That's kind of what I was going for.
So when I was in college, so I graduated 2018, I think. So I was doing cards really 2015, 2018. I just started. My entire collection for the longest time fit in a 5-row, maybe 2, give or take. And I would just take these boxes with me to my college dorm. So from freshman year, I really didn't do cards too much, if any. Sophomore year, I had one roommate in the same room as us. We had a common room and then 2 other sets of roommates in another room. But junior and senior year, I had my own door. So like we would have 3 or 4 bedrooms in our complex or apartment, whatever. Like I had my own door, so I had like security. So junior and senior year, I felt a lot better about doing cards because I had like my own security and stuff. And sophomore year, it was cheap shit, didn't matter. I don't know. I did a good amount of balancing of it where I would sell a lot of shit on eBay or Instagram and like go to my college's library, print out my shipping labels because like the shipping labels were free, obviously, because it was their paper and ink, whatever. Cut them up, tape them myself, bring them to my college's mailbox and ship them there. I would ship every card basically to my college mailbox, realistically, because it wasn't expensive really back then. It might be the most expensive cards were like $200, $300, give or take. I don't know. I think I balanced my life pretty well with the sports cards or not. I would definitely watch like group breaks and like hang out with friends, at different intervals. But
yeah.
I don't know. I kind of, what would I say? In general, in college, I would tell people to like make the right mistakes with school. Like if you're gonna go get drunk and do something stupid, fine, but like do all your homework and shit first, which is like such a dad thing to say, but it's also true. And I think in the sports card side of it, I would say like, yeah, you're in school for 3.5 or 4 years. Like I graduated college a semester early. Like, I just wanted to get out. College wasn't for me, but I graduated. I did what I had to do, so I wanted to leave. But if you like enjoy that environment, like that thing is your vibe, then yeah, Liam, like I remember you and I having the conversation of like, should you go to the show or should you like go to this Ohio State game because like you're one. I think you ended up going to the game.
No, that was Chicago. I was in Chicago, and I regretted it and didn't. And this is where I wanted to hit on it because like my first 3 years was all cards. I did not care about social life at all. I wanted to, expand the business. And I wish I didn't do that. I wish I had found a real balance between the two. And I think that's super important for anybody that does cards and is going to college, just finding that balance. Because, if you can find that balance, you're going to be so much more happy and you're going to enjoy school so much more.
No one's gonna post that content though, because that's boring. You're not hashtag grinding, dude. You're not like living that grinder life.
Yeah.
Do you are you doing cards when you're done, or are you gonna do something else and cards on the side?
As of right now, just planning on cards.
Do cards and something else, dude. it's so much better to have like a real job and like make real money from that, and then also do cards on the side. As someone who has now been working in the real world for 6 years, oh my god, having the ability to balance a real paycheck and like pay for my life expenses with that, and then spend $28,000 on LeBron James cards is pretty fun. You know, like balance that.
You know, it's been a tough decision. I've talked to a couple people. You know, gonna continue to talk to more people about, you know, what it's like to go full time in it. I've talked to, you know, some people that, you know, we've talked about a potential work partnership, or, you know, with, there's a shop, a good buddy of mine owns Kaboom Bros cards, down in Cincinnati. He and I have talked about some stuff. Just because I feel like it wouldn't be as fun doing cards full time as it is doing it part time. But you know, it's coming right out of college. I plan on doing it full time, at least until the National's over, because I really want the Cleveland National for me, living 20 minutes away from it. I want to be able to enjoy it and not be working for somebody else at that point.
Fair. Very fair thing to say.
I would say if you are gonna do it full time, definitely like split cards with people, like bounce ideas off people. Because I think if you do it full time, I don't know, Dave, I guess you do it mostly by yourself, but I feel like by yourself can make you get burnt out the fastest if you're always worried about everything on your own. You know, I think if you split cards with people, like bounce ideas off other people, buy lots together, I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. And like I split stuff with my boys from back home, with like Josh, Christian, and Austin, and like a little bit with people in Columbus, but you know, we split some big cards, and it's definitely a lot more fun when you're doing it with somebody. And that's something that we've also talked about, you know, me and my buddies pooling together a certain amount of money each, and then going to shows and spending that and flipping it, and, you know, taking out the profits for ourselves. And that's, you know, definitely something that we've also talked about as we're all starting to come to the end with school.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, once again, 99% of the deals I've done have been myself. But that's more complicated. A lot of my friends who I grew up with are not in cards. One, his older brother comes in and out of sports cards every now and again. Right now he's in cards. Like, it's fun to hang out with him and talk shop. But like, yeah, it's really just kind of me. There are people who I will split cards with. The opportunity does come up. Kai is one of them, but I don't think you and I have actually ever split anything.
The only one was the Maxi NT.
Oh yeah, the NT. Yeah, that was a little different because like we were in person. Like, it's a little bit easier. There's a little more issues you come up with when you're like dealing with someone online. But like Kai is someone who I would trust 100% to split a card with. I would not be worried. Him, Mikey, Lucas, Woods. What name the fifth one? Who do I really trust? Oh shit, Shovel. I was trying to mention Shovel.
You don't trust Liam?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Liam, you and I have you and I ever done like a major?
Wow, you don't trust Liam?
Not a major deal, no. But
Kai, do not throw me under the bus. There's a big difference between like trusting and like having a great conversation with someone and like, oh, here's $25,000.
No, I would trust Liam with $25K. I've known
Liam forever.
Yeah, I've known Liam for like what, probably 6 years at this point.
I was gonna say 6 or 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you, Kai. Liam, I'm sorry. Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. And we've only known each other for a couple of years. So
not a bad thing. We're friends, but like, fuck you, Kai. You stop being.
Just saying.
You know what? On that note, we're not even gonna get into these sports car conspiracies. That's a conspiracy right there for you, Kai. None for you.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's. All right, let me think about it. Oh shit.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've been scrolling on Card Hobby Official for this whole time, and there's some cool cards on here.
Oh, so it's not penny cards anymore.
There's you gotta sort it by auction and then go highest to lowest. I found some stuff in my bid on, even though I might get scammed.
Yeah. But like with the conspiracy theory, like people still thinking the blue and reds are out of 7. It just is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, there's no chance.
Like I have a Nick Chubb Prism Blue retail, and it's like a pop 30 as a PSA 9.
Yeah, no chance. They're closer to like 30 in my opinion, 25, 30.
And I still don't know what's more rare between red or blue. I think it's dark blue, but
I think blue is as well. Let's read through a couple of these, set a couple minutes on this, and then we'll wrap up. So just this was on Sports Card Nonsense. What's one sports card conspiracy you completely believe in? PSA pop controlling dual graded cards or pop controlling in general, 100% agree with. I think this is completely true.
Well, with that, sorry to get all analytical, but you know how they said they were regrading the lower numbered cards like the same grade if they received it a second time, you know, that whole idea. Well, there's a workaround of that is somewhat related to this. If you send a card that got like a 9, let's say a gold prism out of 10, you send it, gets a PSA 9. Let's say it's an auto as well, it has to be an auto. If you send it dual grade, apparently this doesn't like register, and so they'll actually regrade it again if you send with auto grade compared to just giving you the same grade. I learned that.
Smart.
But yeah, continue.
Backyard Breaks definitely gets favorable boxes.
100%.
They don't really open product anymore, so like I think it's irrelevant because if they did get favorable boxes, they would have probably kept going. So whatever.
This one shows up a good amount. I personally don't think so. As somebody who took in a lot of their content, they do rip more product than anybody else. Also want to point out he spelled breaks wrong.
I saw that too.
That's funny.
But like I understand the conspiracy, but the sheer amount of product they do go through is more than anybody else.
That's true. They probably break twice as many boxes as the next closest person.
Yeah. They used to. Now it's different.
Is it just repacks now?
Yeah.
Repacks.
They don't do any?
They'll do
very little.
I was unaware of that. That's crazy.
52 Topps cards weren't dumped in the ocean. Probably not, but they were probably destroyed or thrown out or whatever. Like nobody ever actually wore the sweaters in the Topps holiday products.
100%. Those are from a box.
Yeah.
Santa Claus did not sign those autographs. I'm sorry. There's major price manipulation and money laundering in the ultra high end market. Breakers and influencers get loaded boxes. First part, nope. It's not a conspiracy. Like that is not true. Breakers and influencers get a load of boxes. Maybe true.
Yeah, I could see that second part.
I mean, like we see shilling, but like eventually the card will sell and get paid for.
Except Trae Young.
And Jaren Jackson.
And Jaren.
Yep. Saying he's been away for the hobby for 20 plus years for cracking a box, promises big hits. We'll see. Upper Deck massively overproduced the 1989 Ken Griffey Jr. card by itself. Met a guy who said someone sold with 2 of them once. That the guy claimed to be a family member who worked for Topps or Upper Deck. Okay. Whatever.
Started the junk wax era.
Yeah. The Luka 101 Prism Rookie and the Curry 101 Superfractor have already been released, and whoever has them either doesn't know it or wants to keep them. That's a good conspiracy. Yeah. I don't believe you.
Those would have to have been graded.
Yeah.
Not in any of the pop reports.
I find it hard to believe that if one of those got hit, it wouldn't be posted somewhere.
It's a Black Mamba graded 8.
And like we've obviously seen like massive cards tucked away in collections. Like I know Leland's just had that binder with a bunch of like 90s inserts that had like a Jordan Champ PMG in it and stuff like that. So like it's definitely possible that those were just hit and put in a binder, especially in like 09. It's less likely to me that the Luka, I feel like the Luka probably, if somebody hit it, we would know about it. But in 09, like there's a chance that that card ends up in a binder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Junk Wax 2.0. PSA protecting pop ports. Yep. Michael Jordan's Fleer rookie card is the most reproduced card in the industry. They made it a couple times, so.
Well, they had the Decade of Excellence.
Yep. They have like
the only one.
Jersey. They have a jersey patch one in it.
I think they did one in 06 also celebrating 20 years.
Yeah. That could be up there. I mean,
but I don't know if you talk about like reproduces like a reprint or if it's been just like put back into product.
Or do they mean the most printed?
I don't know. This one is up for interpretation. The way I read it on a second time is like someone like created that like aftermarket, like someone like went and like artificial like counterfeited them.
Yeah.
Which is true then. Or that of the mantle.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a really conspiracy or not, but I feel like some athletes are taking on huge contracts from the likes of Topps and Panini and their secretaries are signing for them. Look at the sheer amount of parallels existing. I can't imagine they have enough time in their day to produce that much ink.
Well, first
So
of all,
our
they're not
athletes,
producing the ink.
yeah. I think this one can be read as I don't think athletes are signing all their stickers or cards in general. And we know that's not a conspiracy. That is proven true in some instances. So
Dak Prescott.
Luka Doncic.
It's like but like also with like little variances, like your autograph is gonna change after you've signed 10,000 stickers. Like your hand's gonna get tired. You're gonna shorten it. It's gonna get smaller. So.
You're gonna ask your mom to help you. You're gonna ask your wife, your girlfriend, whatever, your boyfriend, maybe. I don't know.
But there are genuinely some athletes that do just have multiple signatures. Like Dorian Thompson-Robinson has 3 different signatures that we've seen, at least in Cleveland. I've seen 3 different signatures that he's given at private signings. So
numbered cards are a gimmick. 1 of 400 means 1 of 4,000. No, I will say silver prisms or refractors are a gimmick, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, like unnumbered short prints.
Yes, this is not true. Short prints, silvers, whatever you can make the conversation about. Sure.
Now they do make more of them. They do make doubles for almost every single card for damage card purposes, but those don't get unless they get backdoored, which sadly does happen.
Unless you're Topps recently, who puts out 2 superfractors.
Sometimes 3. So,
yeah,
you know what I didn't know is they hold back. I saw this on Twitter the other day. Someone got like a Max Clark, I think an orange Bowman Chrome auto replaced, and they hold back like base color of not auto. Like they replaced it with like a Max Clark gold auto, another auto, and they gave him a Wyatt Langford blue Chrome non-auto sealed. I've never seen that before.
I don't think I've.
Obviously, that card was never put in a pack.
Mm-hmm. And like with the Bowman stuff that we were talking about with like Spencer Jones and stuff like that, is like a lot of these guys that are redemptions too, especially with a guy like Spencer Jones, like once his cards are expired, like what do they do with them?
They put them into like different products or gifts or redemptions or whatever.
Because Topps doesn't have like the black boxes, but they do stuff at like the Transcendent VIP parties and stuff like that.
I've heard a lot of things about Topps not really caring they're expired either and giving you the card still. I don't know if they still do that or not, but a few years ago I know they did that for a while.
I know people used to do that, but I don't know if Topps did.
All right, let's quickly go through a couple more. I have not a hard stop, like I have like everything. So we'll go through a couple more, and then I will unfortunately have to cut us off. Retail packs are just as good as hobby packs. That's just
that
wrong.
Person's just stupid.
That's just stupid.
I do understand where they're coming from a little bit though. With a couple of the big Platinum 101s have been hit out of blasters from Topps.
Sure, they're still printing 1987 Topps cards. That's kind of funny. Cards are printed off center on purpose. Yeah, I think that's a good conspiracy. I think that's
an interesting
possible.
one.
Breakers, no. PSA pop control, sure. Artificial scarcity, basically the same thing. Let's see if there's any good ones here. Jordan Walker and Anthony Volpe cards have already been hit, and it's being quiet so they can sell the rest of their 2023 Chrome update. Good conspiracy. Not sure if I agree, but good conspiracy. Let's see if I find one more that I like. Cal wrote on Billy's bat, LOL. The top sends out products with redemption they were planning on filling. Let's end with that one. I think that's not Topps isn't planning on fulfilling them. It's that the athletes are just being asked to sign too much stuff, and the contracts they have in place are not worth honoring. Because I'm a pro athlete. You're paying me $50 per autograph, but my contract's worth $17 million.
Isn't it way less than that too, though?
It depends
That's the point I'm making, Kai. It's like, man, I'm a multi-millionaire. My contract is 3 years, $81 million. I'm totally going to sign these pieces of sticker or trading cards for $40 a pop. Wait, no, I'm not. Here, secretary. Here, child, you sign them.
We saw that with Giannis that, he kept a lot of his one-on-ones and stuff like that. And obviously he took a long time to sign a bunch of redemptions. I'm sure Panini expected not everybody to want to wait until he actually signs it, and they were definitely planning on giving some black boxes out for that.
Yeah. I don't know. Tough issues in the sports card world. All right, that's everything I have. I have I'm going bowling tonight. So
Nice.
I gotta go. Anyone else have anything to say before we stop or no?
Thanks. Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, dude.
Yes,
Happy to do it. All right, next week we'll hopefully not talk about Card Hobby again, unless Kai just ends up buying on there and then has issues.
I might be. I have about 15 cards pulled up.
There you go. All right, thank you guys for watching and listening. If you made this far, next week talk more Dallas and probably some shenanigans. Bye.